You know, I wasn't going to say anything else about the protests and riots that have followed George Floyd's unjust murder at the hands of a brutal, evil cop on this channel, because I felt making that one video talking about my thoughts on the whole situation and making my support known for the protesters and the rioters was enough. You know, I didn't really have much else to add, and I felt like I said what I needed to say, and I wasn't going to talk about it anymore on this channel. I still talk about it a lot on Twitter and on Discord, but as for YouTube, I felt I said everything that I needed to say in that video, but in the days following, I've witnessed so much fucking stupidity in regards to these protests and riots that have been going on in this country recently in response to George Floyd's murder that I just can't stay silent. I need to say something. I need to let this all out in video form because I have just witnessed so much fucking stupidity that I just need an outlet, okay? To all the people, especially the white people who are talking about these riots on YouTube or on any form of social media, saying, well, it's fucked up that George Floyd was murdered by this cop, and yes, the police are fucked up in this country, but I condemn the riots. These people should not be rioting because that hurts their cause, supposedly. Can you shut the fuck up, okay? Who are you to comment on the whole situation? You're white, you live in white suburbia, so why are you commenting on this issue that affects the people of color in this country, that affects marginalized communities in this country, marginalized communities that you are not even a part of? So why do you feel the need to say something in regards to this situation? Okay, fine, if you want to be an ally, state your support, but if you're just going to condemn these people for rioting in response to injustice that has been inflicted on the communities that they live in, and they are sick to fucking death of seeing their peers be fucking killed or beaten unjustly just because of the color of their skin, then just shut the fuck up and not comment on the situation at all, because obviously you're too ignorant to understand the situation, and it seems like you don't even care to understand the situation at all. So please, do the world a favor, do these people a favor, the people who are actually affected by systemic oppression, and just not say anything at all, because you have white privilege. You have never been beaten for your skin color, you've never been unjustly arrested for your skin color, you know, get way harsher sentences for petty crimes like marijuana possession, like many people of color have in this country. You are not at the brunt of any of that. So please, don't act like you know the world. Don't act like you have any kind of superiority over these people and telling them, stop rioting. Why are you rioting? You have no reason to riot. I mean, just because you're at the brunt of systemic oppression, that doesn't give you any justification to riot. Just shut the fuck up, okay? Again, you are ignorant and you should not comment on this situation at all. Why not, for just once in your life, you put yourselves in these people's shoes, the people who are actually at the brunt of all of this oppression, and finally realize why it is they are out there rioting, why it is they are violent in response to this fucking disgusting murder of George Floyd. Why don't you try to understand other people outside of your own little privileged bubble for once, and understand why it is people are responding this way? You know, instead of saying, oh, the riots are going too far. What about the fucking police officers? What about Derek Chauvin, who pinned his knee on George Floyd's neck and crushed his windpipe, subsequently pretty much choking him to death? You know, don't you think that's a little too far? Don't you think it's a little too far when these fucking police officers beat people for their skin color, and in some cases, like George Floyd, kill people for their skin color over stupid fucking little crimes like, he had a counterfeit $20 bill. Yeah, because that's somehow a justification for dying. You know, don't you think that's a little too far? But no, it's the rioters who decide to riot in response to all this injustice in their communities. Oh, they're the ones taking it too far. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. You really don't think that people of color have already tried to peacefully protest these injustices that they face on a daily basis? Colin Kaepernick kneeled as a response to police brutality that many marginalized communities within this country face on a daily basis, and like many conservatives all over the country freaked the fuck out because, oh no, how dare he not stand for his flag? You know, the message went in one ear and out the other. So when peaceful protesting fails, when you fail to get your message across through the means of peaceful protesting, what the fuck else do you do? What other options do you have aside from getting violent, rioting, to get your message finally heard? So next time you feel like condemning these rioters in the comfort of your own home, take this shit into consideration. Please actually think about what you are actually saying, and actually put yourselves in the shoes of the people who are at the receiving end of all the systemic oppression that they have faced throughout pretty much their entire lives. Fucking idiots, Jesus. And I also see a lot of videos on Twitter and social media in general, pretty much showcasing how much of an authoritarian shithole police state country this is. And, you see people in the replies defending this shit. Like, I've seen a video, some pictures of a pregnant African-American woman getting shot by rubber bullets in the abdomen. That shit could very well kill her baby. And I've seen conflicting reports saying she had a miscarriage or she didn't, so I'm not going to conclusively say anything happened to the baby because, everything is hazy regarding that whole situation as of right now. But that very well could have killed her baby. And you see a bunch of fucking idiots in the replies saying, oh, well, she shouldn't have been there. Like, I'm willing to bet a lot of these people, a lot of these bootlickers defending this shit are pro-life. They consider themselves pro-life, they hate abortion, they probably go to abortion clinics and protest, all of the sort. Yet they don't find this disgusting. They're not appalled by this whatsoever. Well, personally, I'm not shocked by this because I'm pretty conditioned to the police doing heinous shit like this at this point because I see the police for what the fuck they really are. But you especially, you would think you would be disgusted by this. But no, you continue to keep licking those boots and saying, well, she shouldn't have been there. She's pregnant. She should have known that she would have probably gotten hurt and some serious harm could have been done to her unborn baby. Yeah, maybe she was there because maybe she wants to advocate for a better world for her baby, where her baby wouldn't be fucking unfairly profiled or unfairly arrested or unfairly beaten or unjustly even killed at the hands of fucking pig cops like the ones like Derek Chauvin and the other cops who just stood there watching. Maybe she doesn't want her baby to live in a world like that where he would be fucking fucked over by systemic oppression. Maybe that's why she was there. But no, you choose not to think about that. You choose not to be reasonable. None of that. No, you choose to blame the victim instead because you love this system we live under. And I've seen this response with some other videos too. Like there's a video of some NYPD cars ramming into a group of protesters in the street because, oh no, they're peacefully protesting in the middle of the street, and you get people like the fucking quartering saying, oh, well, what do they expect to happen? They were protesting in the street. Like, no response of disgust whatsoever because these are people who are supposedly sworn to protect and serve the citizens of this fucking country, and instead they're using their vehicles to ram into these people, potentially killing them because they're in the middle of the street blocking their way, because yeah, that's totally a just reason to try to kill these people. And there's also that other video of a family in Minnesota standing on their front porch watching the police march down their streets, and then the police start to scream at them to get in their house, and they just keep standing there filming, and then the police start to shoot them with rubber bullets or whatever. And you get these fucking dumbass conservatives or dumbass libertarians saying, well, they were standing in their front porch, they weren't heeding the police's advice, so that totally warrants the police shooting at them. Yeah, how dare they stand in their front porch? Jesus Christ. And also, this just happened in my town yesterday. A group of protesters were fucking terrorized by this fucking whack job who came out of their car with, like, a custom-made blade or whatever taped to their fucking hand. This went viral on Twitter, so you probably have seen this if you keep up with these kind of stories. And he started chasing them around because supposedly they threw shit at his car. And you get classical liberals like Dave Rubin cheering this guy on, saying, good work, look at these little cowards running in fear from this guy because he's holding two huge-ass blades in his hand. Yeah, because you totally wouldn't have the same response at all. And then he subsequently, in another video, tried to ram these fucking group of young, peaceful protesters. All they were doing was holding signs, and that was it. He tried to ram these people with his car, and you get these people, you get these same people cheering that on, saying, way to go, that's what happens when you throw shit at someone's car, because yeah, that's totally a just reason to try to to try to plow some group of protesters down with your fucking SUV. I fucking hate my town too, by the way. It's a racist shithole. I'd love to get the fuck out of here someday. But all of this shit just makes me hate this country even more. I mean, for the longest time, I haven't thought highly of the United States, but ever since it's gone completely mask-off authoritarian in the recent times, and you have all these people just sucking up to the system and trying to make excuses and even cheering it on, really just gives me even less faith in anything ever changing in this fucking country. Yeah, you have President Numbskull on Twitter saying he'll shoot down a lot of these protesters. He did a press conference the other day saying that he'll send in the military to certain states to curtail the protesters, even if the states reject the use of military to curb their protesters. Which, is unconstitutional as fuck, but, you have his supporters cheering this on, saying, "Good job, Donald! Great going! I love this so much!" And also, let's not forget that he wants to declare Antifa a terrorist organization, but Antifa isn't an actual fucking organization, it's an ideology, so anyone can say they're anti-fascist to go out and protest these unjust fucking acts of police brutality, and then they'll be labeled as terrorists. Another way to just, another way to just stifle protesting in this country, like, open your fucking eyes. Jesus Christ. Like, what does it take for you to finally realize that this country is just completely in the shitter, it's an authoritarian police state nightmare, and you just don't fucking care at all. Not one fucking bit. And yet you claim to be freedom-loving patriots. Oh, you jerk off your guns because, you save it for whenever the tyrannical government comes after the citizens. It's happening right now, and yet you're cheering, "Get the fuck on." This is why I hate the right wing. And liberals, too. Let's not forget the liberals. Anyway, again, I really didn't want to talk about this situation again in video form, but I just really needed to let this all out. I needed an outlet, because the more I see this shit, the more I just get pissed off. Hui. Yeah. Anyways, that's really all I gotta say about this whole situation. Fuck this country. Jesus. And yet, I still retain some hope in this country. I'm not a complete doomer, yet. I still attend protests, even if, I may run the risk of getting run over by that stupid fucking whack job who tried to run over those group of young protesters just yesterday. Which, by the way, he got arrested and then he was let go, and all he has is a court appearance that he has to make. And also, also speaking of the protesters, they were harassed by some kid who was my age. He was spouting out racial and homophobic slurs to them and was tearing down their signs. And, he got caught on video. He was foolish enough to record himself, and then people sent out that video to his college, and now he's kicked out of his college. And apparently his dad is a fucking Nazi who works at the college he attends, and apparently he was praising the Nazi Germany and things like that. Like, yeah, sounds like a really great family. And also, shortly after the protesters left, NYC has a curfew now where you have to be in your home by 8 p.m. After 8 p.m., a group of white dudes came and took these signs down and put them in a garbage can, and nothing was done. Absolutely nothing was done. They were outside past curfew, but no, they're fine. Fuck my town, fuck this country, and fuck many of the people who live in this country, man. Anyway, all cops are bastards. Black Lives Matter. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.